Well, folks, here we are, the Bat and the Bandit, episode 7. You might see that Phil looks a bit different here. This man is Iain Mahood, chief coach of Evolution Boxing Club. How are you? How's things?
I'm good. How are you?
Are you feeling well, man? Is everything going good?
I'm feeling good. I mean, that was a nice intro there. I have massive shoes to fill here with the bat being away, but I think between us we can do it.
No, we can do it. We can do it all right. Phil's in China at the minute.
Yep.
With Brave MMA. We're all very proud of him.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, love to watch him kind of fucking just growing, and I don't know, man. It's just so good to see somebody from this town doing so well.
It's always good to see people, especially from your own towns or coming from different wee areas, that kind of work themselves up. You know, regardless of the hand they're dealt, they hold on to a wee dream and a wee ambition to have.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, even fucking from my perspective as a musician, you have to look outside the box. Iain, you're the same way yourself, man.
Yep.
You've multiple world champion on your belt. You've all sorts of fucking local champions and children who are doing so great in your club. Can you tell us just a wee bit more about your fucking ethos and what way you want things to run day to day with what you do? So
a real interesting point in a nutshell, but we can definitely go into it. But in a real nutshell, at the beginning of everything, day to day, when the club started, it was kind of all about the champions. We make champions and get this. But the more I've been involved in it on the coaching end and kind of looking after things at that side, I had a talk with a former coach of mine actually when I was younger the other day, and we were kind of having this conversation, and he sort of hit the nail on the head, and it was 100%. It's all about the champions at the start, but what you shouldn't realise is, especially over the years, is the champions come. What it's really about is making a difference, and making a change in not just a kid's life, but an adult's life as well, because we get them obviously from the age of 6 right up through, and we've had many success stories outside of the ring, as well as inside. And for me, that's kind of what it's all about. Create a safe environment where everyone feels safe, like a safe haven for them to come into. Yeah. People around them that they can trust. Yeah. And the 3 key words we use is motivate, inspire, perform. So if we can get them in and get them motivated, the next thing after that is we can inspire them for their degree or their the wee apprenticeship, and then after that you get the performance out of them, and they go and do it, and that's the satisfaction in it all, really, isn't it?
I know, mate. And see what you're doing there. I mean, you're giving people who have zero confidence a lot of the time that walk into your club probably find it very hard to fucking walk in and start with.
Yeah, 100%. That's always the hardest part, isn't it?
That's it. Getting up and getting in there.
Yeah.
I've been in your club many times now. And I love seeing the kids kind of fucking, even your awards night and stuff like that, or seeing who was getting the awards and whatnot. Yeah. Man, that's fucking beautiful. And Carrickfergus, which, let's face it, folks, is a fucking shithole. So it fucking is. You know what I mean? We're both from that's our hometown.
Yep, that's absolutely.
You know what I mean? Even for me, the shit that I've achieved in music, there's not once has anybody came from the fucking anywhere of any sort of stature and says, Lee, we're proud of you, mate. You're doing great. You don't get that. You don't get that in these provincial towns. In fact, you get a bit demonized. You know what I mean? There's a saying that says, I'm not saying we're prophets or anything like that there, but the saying is that a prophet's never welcome in his own town. That relates to me to people who achieve shit from that town. You know what I mean? Who could bring something good to it. Don't get the recognition they deserve. They get demonized, man.
I have found that, but that was kind of a lesson I sort of cottoned onto very early on. My kind of line of sight, I always saw beyond what others, this is how it's done and that's all you'll achieve. Yeah. I kind of was the wee one that was excluded because I thought different, I spoke a bit different. Yeah. And what I have found, even from I was a young age, but more so now after kind of the success that we've had, is that, as you're saying, a lot of envy and jealousy. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But whereas it
fucking just sits there bubbling away.
It does.
No matter what, you can talk to people. Yeah. And they'll be complimentary, but there's just something in there.
There's always something in it.
Something in it.
Yeah. There's always something in it. But I mean, it's I don't know if it's the right thing to say that it's human nature. I'm not sure about that.
What kills me about it is that I don't feel like that as a human. I'm a human being.
I don't either.
I don't understand that fucking emotion. You know what I mean? If somebody's doing great, that's in my scope. If somebody's doing great, that's outside the scope, that's from here, I'm like, fucking fair play to you.
Yeah.
But if somebody's in my scope doing good, I'm like, yes, mate.
You want to get behind them, yeah.
I'm for you. Oh, 100%.
It's the underdog story too, isn't it? We all root for the underdog, but I don't know. It's
until they do well.
Until they do well.
And they're a fucking wanker.
But I've always have been very supportive of anyone around me that's doing well.
Yeah.
But I also know, again, I just feel that my line of vision and my kind of sense of logic is some of the smaller minded people. I'm like way above it. So they'll tell me that all you can see is just the top of that shelf.
Yeah.
That's maybe all you can see, but if I stand on Lee's knee, I can see what's over there, and that's always kind of the way I've been. But I would listen a lot to people as well.
Yeah.
And I also have found people trying to compliment while throwing a wee dig at you. And you kind of do feel like saying sometimes.
People give you it, and they try to fucking take it away in the same
and you just kind of feel like saying sometimes, just fucking spat it out.
Iain,
you know what I mean?
You're what, 35?
34 coming.
34. You're only coming 30 fucking
34 coming.
So you've your achievements at that age aren't normal. They're not normal. I mean, there's guys in their 50s and 60s who've been doing this here for a long time, or the old Mickeys from Rocky. Mate, and essentially that's what you are to other people.
Yeah.
At such a young age, does that ever fucking does that hinder? I mean, do you get looked at differently because of that by your what should be your peers?
I think so.
Do you because of your age?
Yeah, I think so. I'm trying to think. Can't remember if it's when. I think it was the world title fight, maybe. When Anthony Kakachi won the IBO world title, I went to an amateur boxing show. When I had came back, and I took one of the other pro kids up with me to watch the boxing. And out of every kind of my peers, in a sense, one person approached me. Now, not that I was looking for, not that I was looking for anyone to approach me. I wasn't looking for it, but it was when the one broke rank, kind of, in a sense. Here, listen, absolutely brilliant job there. I just sort of went, there you go. But then you kind of look at the bigger scope then and go, room's full of people here, and you know what I mean? But
I'm the only one that's done this. Why is nobody fucking saying? But that's because, do you think that's maybe the way you're wired? I mean,
could very well be. I mean, it's. I've worked for everything that I have.
I've done.
I worked to build a club. I was never given any hand-me-downs or anything coming up in the sense to put me in a position. So I opened the club, worked on it, studied constant. Studied from when I was a young age at boxing. So when some people say, what's he doing up there? You know what I mean? I've been doing this for years. Maybe so. But have you put, did you have, you with the music, how many sleepless nights have you had where you're in your case, maybe your fingers are bleeding? Many sleepless nights where you're trying to figure out, why is this happening to me in sparring? Who can I look to for this? Or, and essentially that's the way I kind of see it. I've worked for everything and I've worked for everything in my life, and any opportunities that have came my way, it's because of positions that I've worked to or put myself in, and I've always managed to rise to the occasion, and I'm never let ego or anything get in the way. If something I think is too out of my reach, it's no knock on my pride to say, at the minute I don't think that's me there, but I'll help wherever I can, but.
The funny thing is that people with egos that try to do what you're doing, I think the ego is almost the cover for their lack of technical skill and ability to be able to. And I mean, that's all that aside, man. The fucking teaching, the coaching, that's a different animal altogether. I mean, a friend of ours, Ryan Roddy, he came down to see. He came down to see.
Good lad. Very good lad.
See a few weeks. So Ryan is a fucking mixed martial arts animal. You know what I mean? Multiple champion. I've worked with Ryan a lot over the years, so I had, and it was nice to kind of connect you guys as well, because 100%. I mean, Ryan came off and just says, fucking hell, Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When it's this, he's just you know what I mean? He recognised that straight away. Funny, you guys are about the same age, same mindset.
Yeah, 100%.
Did you notice that?
Yeah,
I told you at the time. I says you're going to like him because you both think you have the same philosophies and a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And you know, I just knew you would fucking connect well. But having him come back and say, man, you know what I mean? He's not charging enough. You know what I mean for what he got from you. You know, I thought that was fucking beautiful.
No, it's nice. It's nice. I've been told that a couple of times by like a few.
Yeah. So apart from like me and Phil and Ryan, have you kind of worked with any other mixed martial artists?
Not on the high end. No. I have worked with a couple of guys. I've done a wee bit of work. It's actually how I came to meet Phil.
That's right. Yeah.
So I done a bit of coaching in IFS. Phil can't remember if he had come back from an injury, and he was getting ready.
Fucker was always injured.
I can't remember exactly what it was there with Phil, but so I went in as a stand-up coach. I was there for a while, but I really took to Phil, Henry Corrigan, and another guy, young Rory, who later came to the club. Still pops in and trains and does a wee bit. Lovely lads. And a few others there as well, but I kind of kicked them back. Them guys had fights coming up and they kind of seemed eager, interested, and were kind of keeping me back afterwards here. So tell me if this happens or that.
So you hung about more or less for those guys that were actually interested.
Yeah.
Man, that's brilliant, man.
And then it was, I think as well, with a lot of people, is like some people hold me in a high regard and all and whatever, but when we get working, I'm not afraid to ask questions either. Like
you have to.
I think that's all part of it. I mean, for what we've achieved, every day's a school day. Like every day I'm in the club, and there's different ways to break things down, different ways to maybe deliver something, and it's just every day's a learning day. Like
fantastic, man.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I mean, it's a fucking jewel in the crown of the Carrickfergus, like, you know, it really is. That club is a jewel in the crown. I want you to be getting a lot more fucking help, probably than that you are, but we'll leave that where it is.
No,
you know
it would be nice. Do you know what I mean? It would be nice if you go back through.
How many kids coming in, maybe not as privileged as some other people, maybe have a few more difficulties than other people, you know what I mean? And there's better ways to say this, but you know what I'm saying? Who are walking out of your club with their fucking head held high.
Yeah.
Because they're A, more confident. B, confidence leads to just knowing how to handle yourself. As a human being, for me, knowing how to handle yourself immediately makes you more confident, because you've already got a jump on 95% of the human race. If you can. You know how to fight. There's a difference between somebody that likes fighting and somebody that knows how to fight. So when you give those kids that and also teach them, you only use that when you fucking need to.
When and if necessary.
When and if necessary.
It's kind of a thing, like I always say, like it's, when they come into the club, it's not promoted obviously outside or whatever. So first of all, like if trouble's over there, you walk away from it.
Aye. If it's nothing to do with you,
if it's nothing to do you, if it's over there, we'll leave it alone and you can walk away. But the only time ever I've even as well had to use it in the past is like if trouble's here and I can't go around it.
Yeah, that's it.
And there's no other way, then yes, but it's not. I'm not promoting fighting outside either, by the way. But
unfortunately, it does sometimes.
But sometimes it does happen, and as you say, it is nice to know that I'm capable here of handling myself,
which makes it easier to walk away.
Makes it easier to walk away too.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. Makes it easier to go. Do you know what, mate? You fucking will not like this outcome, so I'm going to leave you to it. All right, you should go home and go to your fucking bed.
I was tested a couple of times. I worked a couple of years on the doors and stuff, and there's a couple of my mates will tell you as well. I was usually the smallest guy in stature on the door, and sometimes the quietest. So I would never have shouted at anyone. It was, excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
You know, and then it all was on response. Yeah. But a couple of my colleagues at the time, I remember there was like an incident, and there was flipping, what's he gonna do? And two of the lads were like, just walk on, you know. But that was one as well. Confidence with me, the confidence I had in myself to know, like, if I don't need to engage here, but I mean, if it comes to it, I'm okay.
Yeah, mate. You know what gets me about you is your philosophies are always, you're so centered at times, man. You know what I mean? And I mean, I think even, fuck, Man, I've come into your club a couple of times. I haven't been in the greatest of forms, or you know what I mean. And last week was a perfect example when I came in. Whenever the thing about my dad, it was on the last podcast.
Yeah, you just mentioned that. Yeah,
talking about my dad and stuff.
Yeah.
And you know, the nicest thing, man, was getting in there with you, you and me face to face, and you were saying, "Come on, Lee, I know what you're trying to do. I know what you're trying to do." And I didn't even really know what I was trying to do, but you picked up what I needed at the time, and you gave me something, and it was what I just wanted to feel something. But but after, when I broke down, my adrenaline dump just fucking, it nailed me that day.
Yeah.
And when I sat in the middle of that fucking thing, mate, you came down, you put your,
100%.
you put my, and I was, you know what I mean? And there's very few people would even think the way you think, man. It's very fucking memorable.
The way I see it, we all have kind of trouble in our lives at times growing up and stuff, and as we come through life, we're all learning, aren't we? So, I've had experiences and stuff through life, but it's like there comes a time when you're young and you goes, why is all this happening to me? But it's only when you get a bit older. I reached a certain point in my life where it was like, anything that ever happened to me or I faced, them people are the people I'm dealing with now. Yeah. With the emotions. So even on yourself is like a guy that kept me kind of straight on the road of boxing and kickboxing was a friend of mine, Tony. And Tony died when I was very young. He was killed in a motorbike accident. Fucking hell. So at the time, it was the first time I had like kind of experienced like loss and stuff and whatever. It was a troubled time in my life as well.
Did you find yourself kind of fucking like fighting against that a wee bit, or fighting?
So I did. I was emotional and whatever else, and like my family, my kind of blood family, we're all. It's a fractured relationship, like you know what I mean. Yeah. And that's where kind of I realized how vulnerable sometimes you can be in grief, and how much of an advantage people can take on you. So what I now know is like kind of hurt and upset and confusion and pain and whatever. When I was trying to vent it, I was just basically getting told to keep quiet, get over it, it's time's passing, whatever. Yeah. But where I found release was going to training. Yeah. I didn't care whether anyone bothered with me or not, but I knew at the time what I needed for how I was feeling. Yeah. But again, it goes down, and I have encountered a couple of people with the same thing that come in to train and whatever, but they're going through kind of that grieving process, and it's like bags and pads aren't enough. And I like the fact that I can get in, we're able to control things, and I can tap in, I can look at people. I would believe I'm a good reader. Yeah. And I know that's why that morning when you came in, I was like, you were going to train. I was like, we're not training today, we're going to spar. I know exactly what you need here, and whatever.
That fucking, you've no idea how much that helped.
Because I got numbed very young as well, and boxing was kind of, I went through kind of a phase of a few fights where like I didn't care about winning or losing. It was like I didn't even really prepare properly, and I got in hoping that it would all be over. Yeah. I would feel something, but like it would all be over. Right. But again, you just keep putting one foot in front of the other, and you have a decision to make, don't you? So boxing mirrors life. So, and that's kind of how we're trying to instill it to the kids and the adults.
I love that, man. Boxing's life. Fucking brilliant,
and any feeling you're going to experience in life, boxing will teach you how to deal with it. Clubs will give you a place where you can come and sit, have your, if you want to cry. If you want to come in and squeal and shout and hit the bag, go do it. You know. Yeah. But through boxing, I learned how to get my emotions under control. With an amount of other things. So that's kind of, as I say, it's champions in life. So a lot of kids now aren't sure. They're feeling certain things. They're not sure what they are. Some kids are from broken homes and whatever as well. So if you can hook them, make them understand the sport of boxing. Yeah. Our philosophy about it. So again,
is your philosophy? Sorry, man. Is your philosophy the same as other coaches, or do you does coaches who boxing coaches building their own philosophy individually, depending on who's around them at the time?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Where, as I say, Whenever I opened the club, it was myself. Made the decision to go with it, and my brother, and had a bit of support and stuff from my missus and that, and we got the club open. But it was kind of came about by accident. But I kind of knew straight away with the people that were attending the classes, it was kind of like, these are like other versions of me.
Yeah.
So that's how I felt at the start.
That's brilliant.
It was like, I was kind of like looking at myself at 13, at 12, at 10.
Did you find that you, seeing yourself at 12, 10, 15 years old and these other kids, did you see yourself as being able to help them navigate the things that you never got help with better?
So even in different areas and like with different things, I know now what I needed when I was young.
Yeah.
And it just at the time, people maybe didn't realise it, or they were too busy, or maybe it was me. At a time, I had no confidence in anyone. Now, even trusting people is like, I'm treading easy.
Yeah.
You know, but I got burnt when I was a kid. Probably my most vulnerable when I needed support and a bit of reassurance in life, and instead I was flipping. I was shattered, really.
Yeah.
And but no, it's where were we going with that one? We're getting a bit deep here.
I know. Listen, I'm loving it. You just keep going there.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying this, man. This is good. This is fucking.
But yeah, it's you sort of see. I knew what I needed then.
Mm-hmm.
So from then on, the club's been open. It's like, that's what I'm saying. There was a time where you used to go, why is this happening to me? And I was on my knees loads of times. Why is this happening to me? Mm. About to make decisions.
Have you had moments like that with the kids that are under you? Have you been able to sit down with them and say, listen?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It happens on the regular.
Yeah.
So it does. It happens on the regular.
And the club's a safe haven for people. Like, I mean, even for me, you know, whenever it's the place that I want to go whenever I feel that I need. It's like fucking church, man.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's the only way I can put it.
With the buzz.
That adrenaline dump's addictive as fuck. Like, always was. You know what I mean? I'm so happy to have, because I mean, I'm not doing mixed martial arts anymore. You know what I mean? But I'm also very aware of my age. I'm a fucking old man. You know what I mean? And I don't want to slide into my middle age here, unhealthy.
Yeah.
And which in turn would make me unhappy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I know what I need to do to keep going. So working on training with you is so different, because the technicality of it all is fucking wasn't what I was expecting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How everything is for a reason. You know what I mean? And the parts, the gaps that I said to you at the beginning, I says, I'm so used to filling gaps here with other shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just not there. But
then,
those gaps are filled by where you're placing your feet.
Yeah.
Where everything has a reason, man, and I love it, man.
Yeah.
You know
well, the last time last time was barred. I even said, tell you at the end, like, the penny is kind of starting to drop now. That was flipping.
Took long enough.
And then I posted a video of you and stuff in one of your sessions. It was like everything was good. You looked good. And it's good. That's so again, and then obviously knowing you as well, and the kind of change in yourself as well. Like, I mean, that's why I started the club, and that's why I'm involved in doing what I'm doing, and that's why
for the bigger version of that.
Yeah, and that's why lately I've made the decisions I have to step away from certain things, or at least take a break from it and focus on my reasons why.
Yeah.
Why did I start?
Is there? I mean, so. Is it something you want to talk? Do you want to talk about that? Do you want to sort of, elaborate on that a bit? Are you happy enough?
Well, we can touch on it if you want. So obviously I was involved there for a wee while in with both running the club and then involved with the professional game.
Yep.
But it was kind of coming to a point for me anyway, with kind of current predicaments with the club.
Yep.
There was that, and then just something had to give. I was either going to close the club and put the kids back to their habits or their traumas or whatever, and stay with the pros. And I could have went anywhere and trained them. It didn't have to be in Carrick. Do you know what I mean? I'm choosing to do things like the better the people around me and the surrounding areas too.
You're going to get champions out of these kids.
The champions are all there. I mean, they're there, but that was the decision and a conversation I had to have, like with a couple of the boys. It's like this is just where I am now at the minute. I had a period of months where I was able to focus on the kids a bit.
Yeah.
And just little areas where they'd fallen short previously while I wasn't there.
When you weren't there, right.
They made up for it all this year. It's like,
Brilliant.
there was a wee girl there, wee girl Sky. She had tried so many times from the club, from just started actively competing.
Yeah.
Always getting the All Ireland final, always getting
yeah.
national final, and she just kept falling short. She was on the wrong decision a couple of times, and it was just, she was kind of, how she stuck it out was mad, like. But
has to do with you.
This time, when I had my wee period where we're getting to work with them, there was a couple of them, like real wee success stories. I'm proud for me. Sky got 2 national titles in the space of a month, like, and she didn't just get walkovers. Like, she had to fight her way to the finals, and you know, so my kind of value to the philosophy and the system, like, not that it ever needed reaffirmed in the club, but one of the other coaches actually said to me, it was like, yes, like, you're worth, sir. And like, maybe we need to, how do we change it? How do we all get on the level? But that's what I'm always trying to help and develop everyone whilst doing the same for myself. Yeah. You know,
do you feel it? Are you at the time of your life where you feel that you're in the best place you can be, or do you think that there's more for you to go? Or
I don't know. I don't know. My mind's a bit of a storm, like, so's my moods and emotions, and it's best not to go in there unsupervised, you know what I mean? I have to go in home unsupervised. It's a lot of noise and flipping, you know. But
I love that, man.
Again, like, throughout my life, I've wrote my own scripts, put myself in my own positions. So at the minute, I don't feel I'm where I want to be, or like it's the best. I think there's better to come.
Right.
But again, with the yin and the yang, it's going to go one or two ways, and it's going to be a decision and an action that I'm going to take. Yeah. Whether it's going to be a positive or a negative. Yeah. You know, and we've worked this hard and we've fought this long and we've come through an awful lot. There's like, there's too much invested. Yeah. To let it go the other way. Do you know what I mean? But and that's where I'm saying, it's like everyone's saying, you know, you're there on the big stages and you're this and you're that. That's okay, but it's always about the kids, like, they always come back to that. I was never one to try and like jump in front of a camera and like, you know, and it's to try and shed a better light on your area, really, isn't it? But it's, you know, when it's like, sometimes it's like pushing water uphill, but we'll get there. Yeah, we'll get there. You know what I mean? It's just keep chipping away.
Mate, you did have your moment on camera there a couple of weeks ago, though, didn't you?
No, I did. Yeah.
I'm telling you, fucker came in like fucking Mickey out of Snatch. It was brilliant, mate.
We did, the music shoot.
That was fucking
very
fantastic.
Good.
The kids were brilliant, mate.
Yeah, they were very nice, but again, like,
but you played their strengths. You knew what combination that those kids were right. So you're great at this. So you do. And I was just watching it, man. I didn't have anything to do. Like, I was just being able to watch around, man. So seeing you letting them play to their strengths for their combinations, and fucking brilliant.
Yeah, no, it's good, and I mean, that was a great experience for me. Never mind the kids. You know what I mean? I think we all.
It's always interesting as fuck. That shit. That shit's always interesting.
We all had a good time, and I cannot wait to see the finished article. But it's like, that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's champions in life. So not everybody is going to be an Olympian or turn professional or win this or that. But I mean, you champion them in another way. And again, it's about motivating them. So you motivate them to keep coming to the club. Keep coming, aye. Inspiration doesn't always need to be, you're going to box, you're going to this. Inspiration can be anything. So like, part of a music video, and you, what?
Well, they're all going to see them. They're all going to have the fucking their moment on
100%, and that's there. And there's some, you could see it there, like, there's some natural wee actors, like, that proper got into their wee role, had no problem shouting.
And they all look like proper wee fucking jippos too. It was brilliant.
It was good. It was good. And I mean, Phil looked like the top. The top Jippo King there, you know what I mean? But I like the way he got a wee sly move in with me to say I chinned him there. I did a couple of times, but right, okay. But he also chinned me. You know what I mean? But again,
I think I got to the point where you were just saying, just connect it, connect it.
But we had said before, obviously when it was talked about, we were going to be doing this and whatever. I had sat and I had actually said to Phil, look, both of us kind of have know what we're doing here. Yeah. Right? So, and I said to Phil, like, throw it to my chin. If the camera angle's right, I can get my head down or get my head turned, and it's grand. And then I was kind of going, okay, just I'm going to close my hand this time, but I'm aiming for the bottom of your beard. You know what I mean? And a couple did straight, they did. But he caught me a left hand, mate, broke my necklace. When it snapped me back, I actually thought it split my lip. So you can actually...
We'll have to go and get a fucking metal detector.
We'll have to get a metal detector to find my
glove,
necklace, yeah. So, but yeah, no, flipping, it's great. But again... boxing, just three combat sports in general. We'll not just say boxing here. 3 combat sports, like the opportunities that it can bring.
There's something
like it's class. You know what I mean? And the friendships it builds.
Yeah.
There's there's friends for life through it.
Exactly.
And,
But I mean, I love mixed martial arts. I do. Jiu-jitsu, I love it all. But there's just something more gentlemanly still about the boxing.
Yeah.
World, you know what I mean? It just seems to be that. I don't know. It comes back to that the guy with the moustache and the bald head, and that picture, that famous fucking shot of that guy.
Yeah.
And there's something still gentlemanly about that pugilist sort of fucking thing,
Yeah.
It captures the imagination.
It does.
More so than any other combat sport, even still. And it's fists and movement. You know what I mean?
I know.
I still fucking I adore that.
I think a lot of people as well too, for like the average Joe. It's like there's a bit of an admiration.
Yeah.
For anyone that competes, getting in a ring, getting in a cage, whatever, because there are some people that would sit and watch it and know they could never do it.
There's a set of balls needed for that going walking down. It's a lonely
that emotional roller
like,
coaster, even from the changing rooms to walking out to standing in the ring. That's actually one of the things that I say. Like, I would just, if I could come back and have one more. They don't even need to ring the bell, just threaten that the bell's going to ring, you know what I mean? Just that wee feeling before, like, you get your instructions from the referees, go back to the corner, everyone else steps away, and there's a wee bit of a lull, even in the crowd, everyone goes, it's like the anticipation, that moment.
Yeah. I can't wait to get down here. I can't wait to get down to Dublin with you here.
Yeah, it'll be good. We'll have, going to Dublin, we'll have 3 boxing in the Emerald Box Cup, so early doors in the season, but it's good we run out for them. Some of them will get the rush shaken off.
Yeah.
Sky Lee, she's boxing in it. Of Big Chris Taylor boxing in it. Very, very good.
Yeah,
he's a very good lad. I've high hopes for Chris. He's an absolute gym rat.
I met him, the big.
You did, big tall guy. He got one of the awards. He got best male senior.
2 names.
Yeah. So, but he's class.
Is he a big prospect for you at the club at the minute?
He's massive.
Brilliant.
And then we'll have young Zoe as well going down.
Sweetheart of a kid.
Zoe's kind of...
We love her. She gives me a hard time. She was very quiet the first couple of times I met her. Now she just gives me all the shit of the day, man.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Same as Sky.
She's sitting over there now with her red in her too. She's actually in Mike's seat tonight.
She's in your perch.
She's in my perch. I don't know how I feel about it.
I know.
Kind of probably the way
Phil feels about you sitting there.
I'm not fucking leaving.
He's going to be looking at this here going, fucking bastards doing great. Like, I don't know if I like it or not,
No, I know. Flipping, but no, so with Zoe boxing there as well. She's one of the leading senior females, and again comes with an amazing success story of her own too. You know what I mean? And it's good. So we're looking forward to getting down to the Emerald Box Cup, and then we've got yourselves on board there.
Yep, that's it. We're just you know what I mean. We're so happy to be able to do it.
And we as a club as well really appreciate it, and I know the competitors that are boxing in it appreciate it as well.
No, there's no problem at all. But you do have a fucking look. Listen, you've got to get on this here. See on Evolution Boxing Club pages, Instagram and Facebook.
Instagram and Facebook, Evolution Boxing Club.
There's a GoFundMe. Please donate, because what this man's doing with children at the minute is and getting them out into the world, boxing and fucking being able to look after themselves. And these are kids that aren't always from the most privileged of backgrounds. They're kids that aren't. They're kids that some of them would be getting bullied if they weren't boxers.
Yep.
And the things that he's doing at the minute for them is fucking outstanding. And if you can, please go on and donate anything at all into the GoFundMe page for Evolution Boxing Club.
Yeah, I appreciate
because that helps get these guys in the cars to the hotels. To the fucking and helps with their training. So anything you can do at all, we really fucking appreciate it.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? We're all big fans. We're all friends of. But we'd love you to get on board if you can.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you for that as well, by the way.
No worries,
And it also,
my pleasure.
It also goes as well to keeping the roof over their head as well.
Absolutely.
And keeping kind of, as you call it, it's like the safe haven in the church, keeping that there
that's it. That's
for them as a centre point.
That's what it is, man. You know what I mean? You walk into your club, and the first thing you see is the bags, and behind it's the ring, and you're just like, whoa, there's just something fucking. You know, whatever was going on out there doesn't matter anymore.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter a fuck anymore. Whatever I walked in from that street into here, whatever I had's get left out there.
Yeah.
I'm in here and I'm in this mindset.
Yeah.
And that's massive for me. So imagine what it's like for the kids that are training there. You know what I mean? Fucking unreal.
I know.
Got to talk about Carrickfergus, man.
Okay.
What do you feel about it? I mean, you grew up in it the same as me. Like, I blow hot and cold. I think it's a beautiful town.
I think
man.
it's stuck in the Stone Age, mate.
This whole country's stuck in the fucking Stone Age.
I just feel that, and I feel that any ideas for development or anything is just, it always seems to go off the table.
That's it.
Off the table.
Don't like anything out of the ordinary.
No.
They want to keep the fucking solicitors, hairdressers, and fucking charity shops, man.
It's kind of it's a bit annoying as well, because I lived in Spain for a few years whenever I was young and stuff, and like, again, I've seen some of the world, and it's like, you look at Carrick and there's so much potential in it.
It's fucking beautiful. It's beautiful.
I can never understand it.
You ever see that? You ever stand down there, look along that fucking highway with that castle? That fucking 1,000-year-old fucking Norman castle sitting there. It's the most perfect castle on the fucking planet. And you look at it and you go, this place is stunning.
You know, and it's a stopping point for the buses.
It
is half an hour.
It fucking is. You know,
have a look around and get back in. You know
I
what I mean?
I mean, here. So coming from there to first sort of, I mean, I did a couple of holidays and stuff, but 1999, I went out to Australia. The beautiful woman that I was with at the time passed away now, God love her, God rest her soul. Wrote a couple of songs about her as well. But anyway,
what songs were they?
Barefoot in the Basement and Uneasy Love on the Game Blood album.
Yep.
And then on the Drawn Clocks, most of it was about her.
Most of it was about her, yeah.
So she's gone now, but she was my travel companion in Australia. She came from Monkstown, right? I came from Carrick, Sunnylands. So us getting off a flight, knowing that we had a year to spend. Now, we got a year visa. I got sponsored, so I was able to end up staying longer. On a year's visa, getting off a fucking flight in Brisbane and seeing the difference between. I'd never seen a big city. Yeah. I'd never seen a big city.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Brisbane's not that big, but at the time it was like fucking hell, skyscrapers now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I fucking, you know.
We're used to have flats.
I know. And I couldn't
3-story flats. And
I couldn't get a job at all. I couldn't get a job for loving their money.
Yeah.
So I had like fucking $800 left, and we says, right, fuck it, we'll get the Greyhound and go to Sydney.
Yeah.
So we went to Sydney, and I got a job straight away. And I remember living in a place called Glebe Point Road, right, in a fucking 3-story terrace, kind of like fucking Victorian house, right, on this road that was just cafes and people. It was the first time I'd ever. I remember fucking out in the balcony having a smoke. Just a kid, like fucking 20 years old, having a smoke, looking out the balcony and seeing this guy with the big fucking leather boots on, stockings on, walking down the street like it was nothing. Nobody batted an eyelid. This is Sydney, like, but I had no idea. I was a small-minded kid from fucking Sunnylands and Carrick. Oh, that's it. I was like, whoo, Joanne, come here, do you see this? And she came out and she was just like, it's cool, we're in Sydney, this is what's happening. But I'd never seen that.
G'day, mate.
Mate, I got my eyes opened completely. A completely different world, man.
Yeah.
Over there. And the best thing I could have done was that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because people live in these towns and they never leave them.
Yeah.
You know, all right, we might go a fucking wee scoot over to Spain or over to fucking see their wee auntie fucking Mildred in England, whatever. But that's a different thing. And I would give that to any. I kind of encouraging my daughter. She's 16. She's a traveller at heart. I can tell.
100%.
I took her to New York with me and all. I'm starting to kind of fucking. Go and see a bit of the world. I'm going to fucking hate it. I'm going to be worried about you, but go and see a bit of the world. Do not get bogged down. I mean, she's in Castle Rock, which is a fucking practically wee village. Do you know what I mean?
And a nice wee spot too.
It's in a beautiful wee spot, and she's right on the fucking most beautiful coast on the country.
Yeah.
But she's been there a long time.
Yeah.
I think
spread
kids,
your wings a wee bit.
They gotta go and see just a wee bit of the world, you know.
So again, this is another thing through the boxing that we try and give the kids. So it was like recently we took a wee team away to Sweden. It was only a small group, but I mean, and then we have a couple of other trips kind of planned, but it's just, again, depending on circumstance, whether they're going to work out or not, but we're pushing for it.
Aye.
And some of the kids, that's what we're saying, it's like the world is so much bigger than Carrick, Belfast, Larne.
I know.
It's, you know, and watching a couple of them away there in February.
Aye. Absolute fucking wonderment.
Yeah, look at the road here. Look at the silly things.
Aye.
You know what I mean? Like silly things, but it was class.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you sit back and you listen to them, and like, this is brilliant.
Aye.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
You're hearing things they're saying to each other and shit, and just getting a wee kick out of what they're experiencing.
Yeah, and that's what I say to them as well. Like, you do well in boxing, you can travel the world with it.
Oh, aye.
Because there comes a time when boxing ends, you have to start paying for that shit.
Aye.
All that's expected of you is like a couple of minutes. You just have to get in
That's it.
and like have an exit, like
And
have
then
a fight with someone.
You've got a fucking 4 days this day and 4 days this day to enjoy wherever you are.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's amazing, man.
It's class, like class, but it's sports and music and just any kind of good career that can jet set you.
Yeah.
Get in it.
Well, I've seen some fucking great places through music, man. You know what I mean? You know what? At this stage of the game, I can't even remember half of the places. I mean,
where would you like to go again? So we're picking the guitar up again. We're going to go. Where are we going?
Fuck. Where are we going? Like my favourite city?
Favorite city, anywhere you've been or anywhere you haven't been where you'd like to go. But it's
you know
probably easier to say where you've been.
I would love to head. You know, I've been in New Orleans twice.
Yeah.
I didn't play there either time. I played in Memphis, but I went down to New Orleans.
Did you say a prayer?
Got a prayer in Memphis.
Did you see the Ghost of Elvis?
Saw him twice.
Where'd you see him?
Union Avenue. Yeah, you cut you. I fucking drew a blanker. Followed him up to the gates of Graceland.
Yeah.
Yes, mate. Yes, what a song, actually. You know. But here, so yeah, New Orleans for certain. I would love to get down. I don't even have to take a guitar, man. I would get down there and just spend 2 or 3 weeks just chilling. It's that type of place.
Yeah.
It's very heavy because New Orleans is 18 meters below sea level. So that means the sea's here. New Orleans is down here.
There,
that's what all the levees are for.
Yeah.
The water back, right? So, there's a Harry Connick Jr. song called "City Under the Sea," and that's what it's about. You know
okay.
New
Orleans, right?
New Orleans,
okay.
yeah. So if you go and check out Harry Connick Jr., I fucking love that, man.
Yeah.
There's a song. It's on Star Turtle, the album Star Turtle.
Okay.
It's called City Beneath the Sea." Yeah, City Beneath the Sea, but it's about New Orleans, which is essentially, if the water came in, it would be 18 meters below sea level. It's quite a fucking height, like.
That is some height,
you know
all right. Yeah.
But you can feel it because the whole place is just soaking all the fucking time. Like, you can get a shower, walk outside, soaking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But we had a ball because last time I was there, we fell in with these fucking locals, and so Bourbon Street's the big tourist place where you go and it's fucking stinking. It's bogging, like, and it's just fucking people bogging and stuff. But Frenchman Street, which is away the other direction, is a street. It's kind of more locals only. I remember being in 2 places in particular: the Snug Harbour and the Spotted Cat. That were both across the road from each other.
Yeah.
I remember sitting in the Spotted Cat drinking Hurricanes. Fuck me, man. Have you ever had a hurricane? A proper fucking New Orleans hurricane cocktail?
No.
Jesus Christ. This shit is fucking rum, JD, something else, red grenadine, pure orange, pineapple. It's fucking gorgeous. Whoa. It's gorgeous, but you drink 2 or 3 of these.
It's like a fruit juice?
Yes.
Like
it's
bittersweet?
So easy to drink. There's a bitter in it. There's some sort of red bitter stuff in it. It's red grenadine. Gives it that bittery taste. But when you're drinking this shit, man, you don't know you don't know that you're getting drunk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Fucking I drinking away at them like they were nothing.
And then you'd be in the heat as well, so it's refreshing at the same time.
It's,
and you're just
it's lovely.
throwing
I
them back.
packed up the ice. It was the first time I had a proper fucking hurricane mixed for me. And I got hooked on them. I was there fucking flat out on them every day. I was waking up in the morning, all going down and getting one. But what a city. There's a real heavy voodoo vibe in it. I would like to go and see Marie Laveau's, as you know, what I that I like.
Yeah.
Marie Laveau was the voodoo queen.
Okay.
And she's buried in St. Louis Cemetery. So I would love to be able to go back and do some sort of pilgrimage where I'm following that type of...
Following the trail kind of thing,
that type of thing, you know.
Yeah.
But every other shop's voodoo shops, tarot, voodoo dolls and puppets, you can buy all this shit, man, but it's all there. And there is a fucking darkness to it.
Yeah.
But it's a darkness, it's kind of a sweet tasting darkness. It's not fucking bad. It's not evil.
Yeah.
It's just heavy.
Just heavy, yeah.
And I liked it,
Yeah.
man.
I can imagine.
I could swim in that shit.
Yeah,
you know
I can
what
imagine. Yeah.
I really got a kick out of
Something appealing about it.
something appealing about it. Something that, you know, you just at night time. It's French colonial, so at night times you can imagine yourself kind of just like looking out the window and just seeing fucking, I don't know, Lestat the vampire. You know what I mean? You see somebody just coming out of what was it? Moon Over Bourbon Street was the Sting song.
Yeah.
There's a moon over Bourbon Street tonight. Yeah. Right? Okay.
Yeah.
And if you listen to that, that's what he's talking about. Anne Rice wrote a book called The Vampire Lestat, Interview with the Vampire. And the interview with the vampire, he took and wrote that song about it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You know, and it's fucking, and he captures New Orleans perfectly on that. I think he got players in from there to play their what was authentic.
More authentic, yeah. That's class. That's what I love about music as well. Is like, especially like knowing yourself. Like I've met a couple of singers in the past, but like it's real interesting even with yourself. It's like, Lee, see this song of yours? Really love that. Like, then you're able to tell me the whole story about it.
Yeah.
And it's a different song after that.
Yeah.
Music's amazing. Yeah. Like for me, music's good, and sometimes it determines my mood.
Do you know what I mean? Yes, of course.
If I'm getting up and people know to flip and stay away from me because of what's playing, or
exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
The nice thing for me is that sometimes I get messages. I get messages all the time, but you know, when it comes to actually relating to the music and the songs,
yeah,
I would get people who have said, you know, this has helped me a lot.
Yeah,
what you have wrote here, and it might be a song that. Not that I don't love, because I love them all. Every song to me is a child. It's my, you know what I mean? Every song to me, there's ones, it's funny because there's ones that fall out of the guitar.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep, you've told me this before, yeah.
And they're just there.
Yep.
And it's here, and it's done, and it's dusted, and it's fucking great.
The ability for that's class.
There's ones that take fucking months to tease out.
Do you find that the ones that take a wee bit longer are kind of your better ones, or is it the ones that fall out?
Not always.
Sometimes
the ones that take a bit longer just become a challenge.
Yeah, okay.
You're just, I'm fucking finishing this bastard thing. You know what I mean? And I can't find a hook. I can't find a nice chorus.
What emotion then when you're performing that do you feel? Like when you know it's a difficult one?
There's two sides to this.
Yeah.
Ian, there's a side that's almost like an actor. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? There's a performance with walking on stage. There's a persona.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And my persona is, I'm a bit like fucking, I'm the Irish guy, you know what I mean? Yeah. That's what I am. I'm the Irish guy playing American music back to you guys. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm doing, you know? And I know, man, I know my worth. I know I play it well, I know I sing well, you know what I mean? So there's an act with it. And it's funny you asking that because the act almost protects you.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? So I can get through the songs that I wrote that were difficult to write. Because of what I was writing about.
Yeah, circumstances.
When you're an actor, they become
you don't feel them
become not your songs.
Yeah.
They become you're playing someone else's song.
Yeah.
It's only whenever those moments mid song that catch you out.
Yeah.
Man, I've finished with I would finish with Uneasy Love. Mm-hmm. And that song, every time I play it, I have that moment at the end where I'm relieved to get through it, but I also have to put my head down because I've got that moment of holy shit.
Yeah.
This is a heavy motherfucker of a song to get through. You know what I mean?
That one then's obviously about
Joanne
and stuff. So I mean, wow.
I mean, that's about her and me traveling in Australia. We had that song is about. There's the line in it was all we had was mule variations, your undying patience, uneasy love. Right?
Yeah.
Mule variations was a Tom Waits tape.
Okay.
Right. And it was in the fucking, with this banger of a fucking Ford Falcon. It was a fucking banger. It was 4 litre. It was fast as fuck. 4 litre. Fast as fuck. But it was a banger. Fucking bumper and all hanging off. We drove all around the country in that.
Yeah.
But the fucking tape got stuck in the tape player. And all we could do is, remember you used to have to hit the double buttons to turn it over?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So
kids today will never know this struggle.
We spent fucking 5 months driving around Australia, just hitting reverse every time that tape was over. You know what I mean? All we had was mule variations, her undying patience, uneasy love. That was what that was about, you know.
So not veering off the subject at all too much, but like you've had a lot of your time, a lot of your miles travelling about.
Yeah, I have.
Be talking about New Orleans and here in Australia. Do you ever see some funky shit in the skies? Like, what's your take on UFOs? Can we go into this?
We can go into this, but here, listen.
Touch on this?
Absolutely, but you know my take on UFOs. But nice lead in. I like that.
Don't worry, Phil. I got it.
I've always had. Well, I mean, I've always had this kind of fucking mad kind of idea of what's out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I used to watch. I call them movers. You call them the same thing.
Yeah, I call them movers as well.
I didn't know you called them. We were talking about this.
There's no other.
I call them that too. And movers are always satellites, but it's only recently that they've been able to get satellites to go non-polar.
Yeah.
So they always went pole to pole.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it was something to do with the magnetic thing that threw it back around again.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm not a fucking scientist.
Okay. Yeah.
But they've got it now going. What do you call that? Equatorial.
Yeah.
Right? So that way. You know what I mean? I think. And we always thought, I could always say that must be a new fucking satellite because it's going that way or this, you know what I mean? And obviously always been into it, but this one night I'm lying out the back garden, me and Luca, my daughter, and we're lying on the loungers, fucking pitch black, beautiful sky. And I said, there's a mover. And she says, so it is, and we're watching it. The next thing, this fucking thing just stopped dead. It's like a star.
Yeah.
Stopped dead. And we watched it. And I actually doubted myself. I says, was that moving? Did that? Yeah. She says, Daddy, we watched it coming across the sky and it just stopped. And he says, fuck, that's mad. And we kept looking at it and we're talking, we kept looking at it. And then the next thing Iain just did this here. So from here, stopped.
Yeah.
10, 15 minutes. And he just went. Do you know what I mean? Just went like that. We don't have, I don't give a fuck who we are or what the USA has hidden. Yeah. We don't have that technology.
No, we don't.
We don't have that technology. Just sit there, like far enough up that it looks like a star.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Funny, it was a few years ago now. I was sitting out my back one night, and out of my peripherals, I was seeing this light, and it was kind of doing all sorts of shapes.
But like, fuck, I've seen that too, man. Yeah, so I've seen something similar.
I kind of thought at the start, your subconscious, the way it goes, like some kid with a laser. And then I took a look up, and it's like, when I looked up, this thing stopped. honest to God.
Was it travelling quite fast and then just stopped?
It was like, it was doing making all sorts of shapes.
Yeah.
Do you ever, what it looked like out the corner of my eye when I first seen it was like, do you ever see a kid with a sparkler and they go like that? And
yeah,
it's
yeah.
Like
I was leaving the tracers.
That's what it looked like out of my peripherals, right?
Yep.
So whenever I looked up and caught it, it stopped. Now this thing was far up and it was a cloud. There was clouds.
Yeah.
And this thing was like shining in the cloud.
Yeah.
And it kind of looked like it was coming just ever so close, like closer, almost like you can't see me.
Having a
you know
look.
what I mean? Something I don't. Sounds weird, like, but so. Am I seeing this or not? So I pulled my phone out. We can maybe get Jack to clip this in.
Get him to clip it in.
I'll send them it. But I pulled my phone out, and I put my phone up, and I started to record it. And I seen it in the phone. I was like, this is actually happening. Like, and it's like I locked onto it for 2 or 3 seconds on the phone, and this thing just went, woof, took off, disappeared into the clouds, about like at light speed.
What speed? For something to do that. Now listen, you think to yourself, right, there's the anti-gravity fucking science, right? For that to go from there to that, if there's anything on board that, gravity's going to squish them against that back wall. They're dead.
100%.
So there's something, the anti-gravity thing. I mean, Bob Lazar, Bob Lazar was in, I think it was S15, which is in Area 51. And he was one of the scientists who was given the task of from a retrieved piece of kit.
Yep.
That was so he said there's 3 things in any of these ships. They have 3 or 4 ships there, 3 or 4 fucking UFOs. And he says what happens is that these things here, once you push that up, that's you going that way. That causes an anti-gravity like fucking bubble around the ship. So you're not actually, the ship isn't actually propelling, it's falling through gravity. Yeah. So it leaves that bubble, it falls through. Yeah. Right? So if you are anywhere, when you're in space, there's no upside down or right way round, right? Yeah. And what he's saying is that it's the same out there above us. That when you can kind of fall around the planet. Yeah. Okay. And you're constantly falling, even though, you know what I mean, because there's no up, there's no down. And he says that's where that comes from. But he says these 3 things, they would put 3 of them up to kind of fucking, one down to do that turn. You know what I mean? So that was. But he was tasked with opening this thing up, which they discovered was a new element 115. Right?
Was this the thing? Was there another guy attempted this before?
Yeah.
And he
I think he fucking he croaked it out, and Bob Lazar took his job, so he was in going fucking hell. What is this here? Is this radioactive? This thing? But he was tasked. He says you could not push. So say this was it here. Yeah. You couldn't push your hands near it. This thing was electromagnetically fucking pushing him out. I don't know. I'm not a scientist again, but you know what I mean.
It's there in history as well, isn't it?
Did you ever hear what he said about the religion thing?
No, go ahead.
He said where he was working, he says there's a binder this thick on religion, what it's for, and how it's kind of like, he says you should, religion's religion. You don't need a binder about it. Yeah. He says, but there's this binder on religion and how it's like fucking like put into society to subdue and to keep people down here, faiths and gods and shit like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's kind of a way I would sort of think as well. It's like,
you believe in anything.
You're conditioned, aren't you?
Yeah, but I mean, outside of conditioning, all my conditioning is all gone. Yeah. Right. But it took me, because I needed something. I needed to know something. I needed to know there's a reason for this shit. Yeah. There's a reason for being born. What the fuck is the point of being born and struggling your whole life to kind of work out what you even are? You know what I mean? I found what I deemed to be not even my reality. It's fucking reality. It is, and everybody will twig on soon, sometime about what this is, what's actually going on. Yeah. Did you ever need anything like that to kind of? Did you ever find comfort in anything like that there, or was that always a no for you?
Comfort in knowing that there's
more to this than meets the eye.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, but it's like, so me, it's, I just want what I want to find the truth. So it's like, people say, "Did you watch this? Have you seen that?" TV, I rarely look at it unless it's kind of for work purposes or kind of like educational purposes to the point of what I'm looking for. Yeah. Even that is like, break it down, it's television. Yeah. So it's the same as what I would say. Most of the stuff, even on the phones, like, it's what they want you to, how they want you thinking, how they want you
your algorithms and all.
Yeah. So I've always kind of been a watcher and going, there's more to this. And it's the truth I would like. Yeah. And I honestly think if the roof of Seven of Swords opened up now, and a couple of wee green men come out and says, yes, I'll go.
I'm away.
I'm 100. Can I bring me 10 a Red Bull, like, and the Mars bar from Tesco's? We're going. I've no problem. Stop off and we'll burn to get my dog. I'll bring him. Just don't fiddle with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I love that.
I am like, and I think there's more to this. There's more to life.
Did you ever hear any of the theories about how we got here?
I've heard many theories.
Did you ever hear the Anunnaki stuff?
Yes, I did.
Mate. I mean that relates to the book of Genesis and stuff. Like, I mean, the Garden of Eden stuff. The serpent. We talked about this on our podcast, I think briefly, but I don't think we related the Anunnaki to it. Yeah. The serpent and the God who made the fucking Adam and the Eve, the first female and the first male, was supposed to be Enlil. Enki was the dead on one, who was the serpent, who said, "Listen, you guys are more than this." Yeah, you know what I mean.
Have a nibble at that.
But the thing was, there's fucking carvings. I want to say in whatever Mesopotamia was. Is that the one that was Mexico, or is that the one that was Iraq?
Mesopotamia was.
Or Sumeria. That was Iraq, wasn't it?
Iraq.
Sumeria was Iraq.
Yeah.
Mesopotamia was where Mexico is now, right?
Yep.
There's a carving of Enki, to say, because you'll see this here. If you ever look at the Egyptian carvings or the pharaohs, even, they all had the beards, and they had the high heads. I think that was them humans emulating the gods, the Anunnaki, right? Yeah. Because that's what the carvings are. But those same carvings exist across all sorts of different fucking civilizations, right? So you can go to Mexico and find those. You can go to Middle East and find them, Africa, or Egypt. You know what I mean? They're all there. Even some of the Celtic gods and stuff all look the same. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's all with the beards.
True. That's
and they all carry like a wee. It looks like a wee handbag as well. But that's across continents. Yeah. I mean, how did this continent know to fucking do the same? You know what I mean?
But then when you watch the astronauts getting onto a spaceship, they're all carrying a box and stuff as well, and it's like
batteries for their fucking watch.
Their watches.
Did you ever hear that joke? Anyway, let's never worry about that. Fuck's sake, we'll start telling jokes.
But it's like, I think as well too, like the Egyptians, I think they were well in tune with it all. They were part of it, but history is written by the victors, isn't it? So I remember watching a thing that was called the Pyramid Codes. You can actually get this on YouTube. The Pyramid Codes. I think it's like 7 or 8 episodes. If you're into that sort of stuff, it's a really good watch. But there was a part in that where it was showing you like around the museum.
Yeah.
And
the Cairo Museum.
I think it's the Cairo Museum, and then there's something to do with like a carving, but it was a carving up high, but the brickwork or the plaster had came away, but behind it was like a helicopter.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Holding the thing.
I've seen that.
And apparently all the tour guides were warned, you do not draw attention up here.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Because this starts questions.
Mate, I've seen that. Like, maybe Jack can put that image up on the thing, whatever. But yes, so back to, so you've just hit the nail on the head. Yeah. There's a carving of Enki, who was supposed to be a fucking, like, the serpent in the garden. Yeah. That's what I relate that to. He was the guy that says, you're more than this. You go and eat that. Go and eat them fucking mushrooms. It wasn't the fruit of the tree. Go and eat them mushrooms, and you'll wake up. You'll soon realize. And then they realized they were naked and everything else. But the Anunnaki were very good at manipulating DNA. Mm-hmm. There's a carving of Enki with another Enki on the other side of him because he was supposed to have cloned himself. But both are holding the double helix.
Yes.
This is a fucking ancient carving, 10,000 years old, 7,000 years old. Double helix of DNA, one's holding one side and one's holding the other, and they're both exactly the same.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So they were fucking with DNA back then. I always thought maybe that, because the Neanderthals kind of died out whenever Homo sapiens came in. Yeah. Whenever we came in and we kind of, the Neanderthals were, there was no reason for those guys to die out because they were tough as fucking nails.
Yeah, they were, you
know what I mean? The tough as nails. They were harder physically and mentally than us. Yeah. History books will tell you we were just smarter and knew how to survive better, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? To me, there's a big argument here to say that the Neanderthal DNA was spliced with the Anunnaki DNA to make this here. You know what I mean? And that's why whenever they talk about the fucking angels being jealous of the God made us in His image and all that shit, you know what I mean? You know, you can relate pretty much all of Genesis to the cuneiform tablets that they found in fucking Samaria and Mesopotamia, which are fucking 50,000 tablets. And a guy called Zechariah Sitchin was the guy who supposedly deciphered them. And what he deciphered was very close to the Genesis story. But instead of gods, it was these other things that came to earth.
Unreal.
You know? Fucking love it, man.
Unreal. It's you could really do a deep dive into it.
You can, and there's so much to unpack. There's the theory, the overriding theory was, sorry man.
Yeah, you're okay.
Was that their planet was Nibiru, which is out there somewhere.
Yes.
You've heard of this?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Yep. So you know it was out there somewhere, and what they had protecting their atmosphere. We have water vapor and shit like that in ours, but they had fine gold in their atmosphere, whatever. I'm assuming that it was to protect them from the star, or I'm not sure. I don't know the ins and outs, but they needed that for their atmosphere. And I read a fucking really interesting thing about the fact that humanity could have been, because Earth had gold in abundance and they needed it. Yeah. They came down and made a deal with whatever was here first. There's two theories. One was that they came down and themselves, and instead of mining it themselves, they took a primate, spliced the DNA, made slaves. That's why the thing about this being a slave planet, you know what I mean? Made slaves that were able to mine and dig and reproduce without them having to be here and do the DNA thing. And the other one was 2 seconds. You're going to fucking like this one. This is mad. The other one is that they came here because they're multidimensional. They came here, and the beings here were ethereal, which means they were consciousness, but they weren't this, right? And at the time, the Earth hadn't solidified properly, so it was ethereal as well, gaseous. And the gases of gold were in and around it, and it was easy for them to collect but as the Earth started to harden, I fucking love this one. Whether it's fucking true, whether it's true or not, as the Earth started to harden, they needed to make machines to be able to dig the hard Earth, like matter against matter. Yeah, you know what I mean? To be able to mine the gold that they could then turn into an ethereal gas for their own planet. Fucking magic, man.
Class.
You know what I mean?
Class. And it's they don't teach you this stuff in schools, which I hate. Like,
I think any Christian society is not going to teach you. You're not going to hear anything about this, and this is stuff that's been about for fucking eons, man.
And it's there, it's there
in your face.
It is there. But funny you say that about them coming and putting beans here to mine it. We Bernie, she's like my wee second mum. We actually had this conversation, mate, last night.
Did you?
Oddly, about UFOs and like she.
Oh, you were researching,
yeah, no, but it's like we just talk in general. Like she sat many a night with me out her back garden. When you look up on a summer's night and all, even in the winter, it's class. You see everything. But like, oddly, all the years like we have kind of been together, it's like we've never had this conversation about, you know, and. Like what some of the stuff she come off with, it was kind of like that. Like what you're saying, it's like she thinks maybe if it is that there has been people or civilization of them left here. But she says you never see them land. It's like they're always scouting,
looking for something. Yeah.
Which went to another interesting point with Sammy. He says, sure, it was about 40 years ago. Did I ever tell you the night I was in the Gritter, Ian?
Right.
Driving across Shane's Hill. Well, mate Davey, I says, no, tell me about that. I vaguely remember you saying something about something bouncing between a mountainside or something. But it turns out it was like 40 odd years ago, and he was working in the Gritter lorries, going up Shane's Hill. Now, apparently at the time, the UFO sightings, like it was mad at the time.
When is this 80s? 1980s?
Might have been.
70s?
40 odd years ago from where are we going?
Oh, late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah, and around that time. So apparently the Kent in England was a hotspot, apparently for sightings at the time, but all this stuff's kind of been like buried. So he says they
don't want you to even thinking about this.
No, they don't. They don't. So Sammy had says they were on the Gritter lorry anyway, and they were coming over Shane's Hill, and he said it looked like this thing was scouting for something. So it was like it would move to one side, stop, move, stop, and he's like, this went on and on and on. And he says we were driving. Next thing it stopped, and he says it's just like what we're talking about before. It just went and took off.
Yeah.
But around that time as well was
the G forces would kill any fucking living being in that. That if it wasn't, you know what I mean?
100%. Wait, sure. You look at some humans getting into a fighter jet and they're flipping.
Oh, I passing out. Oh, I at like Mac fucking 6. You know what I mean? Yeah.
But then you've got the likes of Admiral Byrd and all. Like, do you ever read about him?
No.
Admiral Byrd. So he went up to Antarctica.
Right.
He was an admiral, obviously. But apparently he went into like a cave in Antarctica. They found this kind of cave. He went into it and supposedly found
paradise.
Yeah,
like a whole other fucking.
Yep.
I that's ringing a bell.
And the entity that he had found there, the being, it kind of says to him basically, like you can read this. Admiral Byrd in Antarctica.
Yep.
They told him basically like you're killing the Earth, like.
Right. So they told them that.
Apparently so. Yeah.
Have you heard? You're talking about Antarctica tonight, so we're way down our fucking rabbit hole here.
Here we go.
So have you heard of the Perry Reich map?
No.
Right. Graham Hancock wrote a book called The Fingerprints of the Gods.
Yeah.
And he kicks off the book. It's fucking that thick. He kicks off the book talking about the Perry Reich map. Periris. Perry Reich. RIS. That's it, but it's pronounced Perry Reich. And the Perry Reich map was mapped in the 1500s, right? The 1500s now, okay? And it shows the perfect outline of the land under the fucking ice in Antarctica, and it's perfect. How the fuck?
Antarctica intrigues me.
How did they know?
I know.
In 1500, I mean, it was still. I'm presuming it was still covered with ice.
Yeah.
That map came out of nowhere, and whenever I don't know how they scan it with the actual land under the ice, but it's exactly the same.
Yeah.
They couldn't have known that.
No.
Not then. But somebody has given them that information.
Given them the information, but there's also like there's satellite images as well, and like images from Antarctica. There's pyramids there, mate.
Oh,
like there's pyramids as old as
allegedly so.
Yeah, as old
and
as
there's
the Egyptians.
There's shit melting there that is going to fucking cause
expose a lot, like
a lot, like fucking viruses and all.
Is this why it's a big push not to let anyone near it and within it?
You're seeing that now. That's it. You know
why we're not allowed near it? Do you know what I mean? It comes to that bit about you can only see that level of tiles. Not if I stand on his knee, I'll see. You know what I mean? Man. But Lee, this has been flipping. I've enjoyed this.
Have you enjoyed this? Have you? What time are we at? Are we good or what's going on? I haven't got a clue.
What are we like, Jack? An hour and 10 minutes. I think we've broke the record.
Do you want to fucking wrap this here, man?
We can wrap this up if you want. Yeah.
Listen. Anyway, just
we've done Phil Campbell justice here. You know what I mean? If you're watching Phil in China.
Yeah, we love you, Phil.
Love you, Phil.
Can't wait to have you back, brother.
Yeah.
And put you back in that seat. Fucking
Yeah, absolutely.
Anytime you hear a bit of giggling in the background on the Bat and the Bandit, it's him. This is the boxer in the Bandit, this one.
The boxer and the bandit. Yeah, so we're
going to do this again, aren't we?
We'll be a bit of a fixture here for, I'll be a bit of a fixture here for
a week or two, anyway.
Another episode or two, I think.
Yes.
Until the main man's back. But
here, let me just finish with this. I think this is important to say at the minute. Have you ever heard of the god Quetzalcoatl down in Mexico? He was nickname was Hummingbird. It was literally related to Hummingbird.
Okay.
Well, he was supposed to be a demon, right? We're talking about carvings earlier, and it came in my head. Come in to say to you. And the king of that area of Mexico at the time, which would have Mexico City, where Mexico City is now, they have the Temple of the Sun, right? Mm-hmm. But apparently, on days whenever the king of the Aztecs, it was the Aztecs, which was around it's not that long ago. You think Aztecs, you think thousands of years ago.
No, it's not that far
1500s.
No.
1500s. They were like the knock one from the Mayans. Mm-hmm. They came from there. Those guys. So around the 1500s, it's about the time that the Spanish landed in Mexico.
Okay.
And that's how the whole of fucking that area became Spanish speaking.
Yeah.
But before that, the Aztecs, whenever they were having sacrifice days, apparently around the temple, there was 50 killers with knives, and people as far as the eye could see, hoping to get up them fucking steps, man, to get cut. So they think that Quetzalcoatl was a demon who had kind of taken over the king because he was a bloodthirsty bastard.
Yeah.
So he wanted sacrifice to this. Keep sacrificing, but that was okay. The Spanish landed. Hernando Cortez. You ever heard that name?
I've heard it. Yeah.
Hernando Cortez was the leader of the Spanish when they came off the boats. Okay. And he was out there on the king's mission, the Kings of Spain's mission, to bring back all the riches that he could find.
Yeah.
Right? Something to do with maybe the fucking the what did you call the city of gold?
El Dorado.
Something to do with that. Go out and find all the gold you can, bring it back. So he comes out and he likes the fact that he is revered as a god. So I think the king dies, but the story goes that Quetzalcoatl jumped into him.
Okay.
Because he became a bloodthirsty bastard. Apparently, whenever he went out there to start with, there was 19 million people in that area.
Yeah.
By the time Hernando Cortez died, there was like 1 million people left, 1 million Aztecs left.
Jeez.
He was just slaughtered. Apparently, would be sharpening his sword and say, "Bring me that boy over there, check how fucking sharp his sword is." And somebody's kid pulled off him in the street, sent over to him, and he just chopped him up the fucking bits. Evil bastard. But just an interesting. I think it's something we should maybe look into the next time.
For the next one. Even the Mayan temples as well.
Everything.
Their construction's class as well. Like, but I would love to go and see that.
Absolutely, man. I've been to the pyramids of Egypt, which is
we were actually talking about
which is fucking nuts.
Egypt on the way up here, so we were. Maybe young Jack there, I think's maybe gonna.
We should leave this to the next time, brother.
We should.
Listen, this has been the Boxer and the Bandit. Yeah. Thank you for joining us. And hey man.
Well done. Where can they find you?
Yep.
El
Rogers, ELRJERZ, ELRJERZ on Instagram, or Lee Rogers Music on anywhere. What about yourself? Evolution Boxing Club and Iain Mahood.
Evolution Boxing Club, Facebook and Instagram, and Iain_Mahood 90 on Instagram.
Yeah, happy days, man. This has been a fucking pleasure.
It's been good.
Love you, brother.
Good. Okay.
Catch you soon.
All the best. Catch you soon.